Last week I focused on relaxation, relieving tension, and getting more done at work where I have a tremendous amount to do. And my whole state of mind last week was better, and my productivity was up. I figured up at least 20%, which is a very good because I'm already a very efficient. Last week I focused on relaxation, relieving tension, and getting more done at work where I have a tremendous amount to do. And my whole state of mind last week was better, and my productivity was up. I figured up at least 20%, which is a very good because I'm already a very efficient and productive person. And I felt I had better cooperation from the people that I was working with. My boss on Friday came in and told me he was going to buy me a new computer, a 386 instead of a 286, which will process things faster. And somebody had even noticed that my handwriting had improved. It wasn't bad, but that it looked prettier, that the letters were more symmetrical. So all in all, I had a good week, and my energy level was excellent. I was sleeping about 6 hours a night and not feeling tired at all. So it was a successful week, and one I hope will duplicate next week.
Well, welcome back from the break. I'm sure you've had some good practicing of using the release technique. What we're going to do now is review what we've done up until this point. So if you don't have it out already, take out your large chart of emotions. And as you remember, last weekend, what we were doing is we were identifying our now feeling. We were tracing it to the underlying fear or grief or apathy, underlying emotion, and then letting it go. Because every time you let go of a little bit of grief, you were letting go of a little bit of all the feelings underneath it. Now what we've been doing is we've been letting go of the wanting approval and the wanting to control. Now, if you take a moment and write in wanting approval and wanting to control up here, see these little boxes? So take a moment here in the class and also at home, write in the wanting approval and wanting to control. What we'll be doing for the rest of the class is we'll be focusing on the two underlying wants that all the feelings culminate in. So every time you let go of a little bit of the wanting approval and the wanting to control, you're letting go of a little bit of all of this. And that's why the results will be even more effective than anything you've experienced up until this point. Because as you're letting go of the wanting approval and wanting to control, you're undoing all limitation, all of the uncomfortable feelings, all the things that are holding you back from having whatever it is that you want in your life. So keep it going. Keep focusing on those two wants. If feelings do come up, that's okay. You don't have to push them back down, but remember to take it a little deeper and focus on the underlying wanting approval and wanting to control. As you do that, you'll see the results really accelerate. We'll be working now in our workbooks on the page that says letting go of wants. So turn in your workbook to the page that says letting go of wants. Now what we did up until this point, like last weekend when we worked on goals in the last couple of tapes ago, is we've been focusing on what we want, letting go of our feelings to the contrary, and seeing that it does come in a lot easier. Well, there's a much more powerful way of creating what you choose in your life, and that's actually letting go of the wants. In fact, it's our conflicting wants that cause all our suffering. We want certain things, and at the same time we don't want them, and we get stuck. Also, when we're wanting, it's blocking us from having. We all have long lists of things we've probably been wanting a very long time, and they always seem to be just a little out of our reach. And that's because want equates to lack. So what we'll be doing now is making a list of some of the things in our lives that we'd like to have, some of our wants, and some of the things that we're wanting to get rid of, some of the things that we don't want. So take a moment or two, those of you at home and those of you here, to write down some of the things that you want and some of the things that you don't want. Okay, well, let's do some work on it together. And those of you at home, you can start releasing now. You don't have to wait till it's your turn. And also remember that sometimes we'll be viewing people from this class, and sometimes we'll be viewing people from other classes. So who has a want that they'd like to let go of? Yes.
Healthy children.
Okay. All right, so are you aware of that want right now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now dig a little deeper and see which underlying want it's coming from, the wanting approval or the wanting to control.
At first I would say it would be control.
Okay. So just allow yourself to become aware of the wanting to control.
Okay.
See? Did you let go of some of it? Yes. Okay. And just allow more of it to come up. Now again, you'll notice that Nikki and I will more and more just allow you to do your own releasing. We'll kind of help you, point you in that direction, and then you'll probably let go before we even ask you anything. See, you're doing it again. Just let go of more of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels pretty good, really.
Okay. So it feels better?
Yeah, it feels a lot better.
All right, great. Give yourself a couple of checks.
Okay.
Good. Okay. Now, I would suggest that those of you here continue releasing along as I work with the person at home. So now it's your turn. And now remember, I can't emphasize this enough, there's nothing wrong with having. What we're doing is letting go of the wanting. The more you let go of the wanting, the more you're free to have whatever it is you choose in your life. Plus, it really frees up a tremendous amount inside to not have that wanting inside of you. So now just focus on one of the items on your list. Let's start with something that you're wanting. And as you focus on it, see which want it's coming from, the wanting approval or the wanting to control. Now, could you allow it to release the wanting approval or the wanting to control? Now focus on that same item again and just see which want it stirs up in the moment. Now could you allow yourself to let go of that want? Again, focus on that thing that you're wanting. And just see whether it's coming from the wanting approval or the wanting to control. And as you become aware of it, see if you can just allow yourself to let it go. Focus on that item again. And just see if there's any more remaining wanting there, either a wanting approval or a wanting to control. And could you allow yourself to let it go? Now focus again on that item one more time. And just allow yourself to become aware of which want is stirred up in the moment. And could you let go of that wanting approval or that wanting to control? Now I'm going to go on to something that you don't want. But if you need to do some more work on this particular item, you might want to pause the tape for a moment before we move forward. So now focus on something that you're not wanting. Something that you're wanting to avoid. And again, just allow yourself to become aware of which want it stirs up in the moment. Could you let it go? Focus on the item again and just allow yourself to become aware of what you're wanting in the moment. Could you allow that want to release? Now just invite up more of whatever you're wanting in relation to that item. Just invite it to come up into your awareness. And remember, you don't even have to wait for me to ask you the question. If it comes up and it leaves, that's totally okay. So again, focus on the item. Focus on that thing that you're not wanting. And just allow the wanting approval or the wanting to control to come into your awareness. And then just allow it to release with ease. Now focus on the item again, that thing you're not wanting. And just allow yourself to become aware of your now want. And then just easily decide to let it go. Now I suggest you continue working on this sheet for as long as it takes and work through many items. Again, it is extremely powerful to start letting go of wanting. Not just the wanting approval and wanting control, but whatever you're wanting in your life. The more you let go of wanting, the more you can have. And also the more you can feel imperturbable moment to moment. Because no matter what is going on around you, if you're not being pulled or pushed by conflicting wants, you can be more at ease.
So welcome back, class. Welcome back, those of you at home. Hope you enjoyed your break and kept releasing during your break. We're going to work now on a worksheet in your book. So please turn to the page that has wanting to control at the top of it. What we're going to be doing here is exploring the wanting to control further. And by doing it on this sheet, we're going to be looking at two main things. The first being, what is it that we actually get from wanting to control? We do it for a reason. So what is it we're wanting? And the other reason, and the other side really, the side that's not quite as obvious, is what do we get from wanting to be controlled? And you might think that's kind of a little strange, but if you think about it, there are times when we all kind of give up our power. We let somebody or something else control us. A perfect example is really when you're a child. You want somebody to do something for you. You want somebody else to be in control. You don't. So we're going to do some further work on this in exploration. So let's take a few moments and write down what it is that you, firstly, would like to get from wanting to control. And the other thing, what is it you want to get from wanting to be controlled? Okay, so let's do some releasing together now. What we'll be doing is identifying the underlying want with whatever you wrote down and releasing that to completion, just allowing yourself to be aware of it and letting it go until you've checked your let go column and you feel good about that particular thing. So, who would like to work first? Oh, and by the way, those of you at home, do follow along, whether I'm working with somebody here in this class or whether you're watching an excerpt from another class. Just follow along and keep your releasing going. Michael, what is it? What's one thing that you want to get from wanting to control?
Oh, wait a minute. It's what do I get or what do I want to get?
What do you want to get? Either one, whichever.
Oh, I just said what I get from wanting to control, I get a headache.
Okay. All right.
I don't want one, but that's what happens often.
Okay. And when you think of that happening, what does that stir up? You're wanting approval or you're wanting to control?
Feels like approval.
Okay. So just allow yourself to be aware of the wanting. You just let it go. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Just look at it again. Are you aware of any more of that wanting approval?
No, not in that case, no.
Okay, good. Okay, Michael, so what's something that you get from wanting to be controlled?
Security.
Okay. And can you see whether that's coming from your wanting approval or your wanting to control?
Control.
Okay. Could you let go, wanting to control?
It's kind of hard.
Okay. Does it feel stuck? Okay, there it left. Okay. Well, think about that again. You're wanting security. Can you get a sense of more of the wanting to control?
No, not really. Yeah, it went away.
Okay. So how are you feeling now about that?
Pretty good. Pretty good, yeah.
Okay. Right. Don't forget to write it in your games book.
Okay, thank you.
So who else would like to work on this sheet? Who's next? What's something somebody gets from wanting to control? What do you think you're going to get? Rodney.
Ostensibly, I'm looking for power and satisfaction, but Michael said headache, and it just dawned on me that when I'm wanting to control things, I tend to tense up. My body tends to tense up, and when you do that, the blood doesn't flow as well. I probably don't think quite as well, and it may seem like I have a little headache. So a side effect of that is giving me a little bit of headache too.
Okay.
And I'm not thinking as clearly and as effectively as I might otherwise if I wasn't trying to get that control.
Okay.
So it has some downsides there too.
All right. Well, when you think about that, does it stir up your wanting approval or your wanting to control?
I think probably control. I tend to be a controlling type person.
Okay.
So I think that's what it stirs up.
Well, now that you're aware of it, could you let it go?
I'll try.
Okay. Well, just see if you can allow yourself to be aware of the wanting to control.
Okay.
Could you allow it to release?
Yes. Can.
Okay. See if you can be aware of any more of it there.
Still
In
some
fact,
there.
yeah, the fact that it gives you a headache makes you feel stressed.
Yes.
And could you allow that wanting to control to release?
Yes, I believe I have the ability to do that, to release that.
Could you?
Yes.
Okay, good. Let's see if there's any more there. When you think about...
Just a little bit left.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Yeah. Well, just
It sneaks
focus...
up on me.
Mm-hmm. Just focus on that part that's left.
A little residue there.
Yeah. Is that the wanting to control still?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Could you allow it to
Yes.
release? Okay, good.
Good.
Good. Okay, so how is it feeling now?
Feels better. Feels
Okay.
better state of mind.
Good.
Happier state of mind.
So on the other side, what's something that you get from wanting to be controlled?
I get approval.
All right. And is that the wanting approval?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Could you allow that wanting approval to release?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Can you be aware of any more of it there, Rodney? The wanting approval?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
That's easier to release than the other side for me, for some reason.
All right.
But there's still a little bit left there.
See, could you let it go? That want.
Yes. Slip it away.
Well, how is it now?
Feels good.
All right. Okay. So you can carry on working on your list as I'm helping
Thank
other
you.
people. All right. So who else?
I get what I want or things my way.
Oh, okay. And what's the underlying want there? The wanting approval or wanting to control?
I think control. On top anyways.
Yeah. Just let it go.
I don't know, let me see.
Well, just focus on it again. The wanting to control. Getting what you want.
That part is fine. It's when you think about, okay, somebody's saying that no, you can't have it, then it's like, well, maybe I didn't get rid of all of it.
Okay.
Or something.
All right. So good. There's more there then.
Oh, I'm sure it could come up.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll just focus on that wanting to control again.
Yeah.
Could you allow it to release?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Good. And can you get a sense of any more of it there, Cheryl? That wanting to control.
I think there's probably some approval there.
Okay. Just allow yourself to be aware of the wanting approval. Could you allow it to release?
Yes.
Good. Okay. And is there any more of it there?
I could just let some more go.
Good. And when you think of that again,
If I think of somebody telling me, no, I can't have it, then, yeah. I think
so it stirs up more. Well, when you think about that, is that the wanting to control or wanting approval?
I think it's approval.
All right. Could you allow the wanting approval to release?
I guess not.
Are you sure?
It didn't want to move at all. Maybe it did, though. Let's see.
Yeah, just check back now.
It feels better.
Focus inside, yeah. See if there's any more of the wanting approval or wanting to control when somebody says no to you.
Now it's not even going in my head. Okay. I think it's gone.
Okay.
I'll look again.
Yes. Just look again. Just imagine someone saying that to you.
Yeah, I
No.
can. That's been a big one. It's like, boom. I don't find it, though. I think it's gone.
You let it all go.
Yeah, I think so.
Wonderful.
Good. That's great.
Give yourself some checks there.
All right.
Now on the other side, what is it that you want from wanting to be controlled?
No responsibility.
Okay.
Having somebody tell me what to do so that I don't have to worry about it.
All right. And is that coming from the wanting approval or the wanting to control?
Probably approval. Then nobody can say I did it wrong.
Okay. Just focus on that wanting approval. No one can say you did it wrong.
I feel stuck. It's like it's just right here and it's not going to go anywhere.
Okay.
Or something.
Would you like to control that it's stuck right now?
Yes.
Could you let go of wanting to control? Okay, good. Okay. Well, just think about that again.
The other one went away too.
Good. Okay.
Because I can think about somebody saying that I did something wrong and it feels okay. I don't have to feel bad about that.
All right. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
You can give yourself a couple of check marks there.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. So who else?
I feel like I get approval from wanting control.
Oh, okay.
So I guess that's approval.
Wanting approval. You just let some go. See if there's any more of it there, Terry. That wanting approval. Could you allow it to release?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any more? See if you can allow yourself to be aware of more of that wanting approval.
Yeah. Yeah, I can feel it.
Could you allow it to release?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can feel it going.
Good,
Actually, that's fine. I
good.
didn't complete my sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a lot of times when I want to control something, as I feel the need for approval.
Yes. We often want to control people to get approval.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
To get there, to get all these other wonderful things like power and
Yes.
acknowledgement and so forth. That all comes back to approval for me.
Okay. Well, is there any more there, just as you talk about it? The wanting approval?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of that.
There goes another piece. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
How is it now?
It's getting harder to feel it.
Okay, but there's still
Yeah.
some more there?
Yeah.
All right. Just allow yourself to be aware of the wanting approval that's there.
Okay.
Could you allow it to release?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Is there any more that you're aware of?
I think now maybe I'm feeling kind of like Cheryl. I'm wanting to let go of it, but
Okay.
you know, I'm a little stuck.
All right. Would you like to control that?
Yeah.
That was a nice release.
Yeah.
We'll see what's there now. Are you aware of any wanting approval or wanting to control?
Well, I feel better, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. No, I know. I feel better.
All right, good.
I
Okay.
do.
So then let's go to the other side then. What do you get from wanting to be controlled?
I get acceptance then, if I'm controlled.
Okay.
Approval.
All right.
Now we're back to this.
Good. Let's go.
Okay. Well, I guess I get to release a little more of this.
Just the flip side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we do have both. Just this side isn't often as obvious.
It's amazing how much approval there is on a wanting control sheet.
Yes. Very often there are both the wants there, though.
Mm-hmm.
So just focus inside again, Terry. See if there's any more of that wanting approval.
Okay.
Could you let it go?
Yeah.
Good. Is there any more of it there? Could you allow it to release and just let it go?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can.
Good.
Piece of cake.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how is it now?
It's good. Yeah, that's good.
Good. Give yourself a couple of checks.
Okay.
there. So let's do some releasing now with our home viewer. So those of you here in the class, just keep focused on your releasing and continue along as I release with our viewers at home. So, those of you at home, just get comfortable and pick something from your worksheet that you're wanting to get from wanting to control. just see what want is underlying that. Is it the wanting approval? Or you're wanting to control? Could you allow it to release? Just focus again. See if there's any more of that there. Whichever want it was. And could you allow it to release? And when you think of that thing that you think you're going to get from wanting to control, just allow whatever the want is there, just to come into your awareness. And could you allow it to release? And take a look at that again. Is there more of that want there? Could you let it go? And when you think about what you want to get from wanting to control, just see what want is there right now. Could you allow it to release? And just see if there's any more of it there. And whichever want is there, could you let it go? Now let's go to the other side now. What's something that you want from wanting to be controlled? Just see what want is underlying that. The wanting approval or the wanting to control. And could you allow it to release? Just check again. See if there's any more of that want there. Could you let it go? And just check again. See what want is there right now. Is it the wanting approval or the wanting to control? Could you allow it to release? And just think again, when you think about what it is that you want to get from wanting to be controlled. Just allow whatever want is there, just to come into your awareness. Just allow yourself to be aware of it. And could you allow it to release? And just one more time, check and see if there's any more of it there. And could you let it go? Okay, now continue working on these sheets, taking the things that you want to get from wanting to control, and things that you want to get from wanting to be controlled. And keep releasing whatever want comes up and letting that go until you feel good. And then make sure you check on each side of the column there, the let go and the feel good. So take some extra time now and pause the tape and just carry on working on this quietly on your own. Now we're going to do the same thing again, but this time with the wanting approval. So those of you at home and those of you here, turn to the page in your book that says wanting approval. And the wanting approval has two sides to it also. We think we're going to get certain things from wanting approval. But on the other side, there are times when we want disapproval. You might want to think of it a little bit in terms of the rebel. You all know somebody who's kind of a rebel and likes disapproval, wants disapproval. Well, there's part of us that has that inside too. So we're going to explore that, just the wanting disapproval and the wanting approval. So I'm going to give you a few moments here to write down some of the things again. What do you get from wanting approval? And what do you get from wanting disapproval? So let's find out what you got down here in terms of the wanting approval and the wanting disapproval. And those of you at home, just keep releasing with whoever I'm releasing with and keep your focus on that. So who would like to go first? Michael, what is it that you get from wanting approval?
Disappointment.
Oh, okay. And what does that stir up, the wanting approval or the wanting to control?
Control.
All right. Could you let go of wanting to control?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Is there any more of that then? When you think about it, you get disappointment, there's some more releasing.
Disappointment, yeah.
Can you get a sense of more of that wanting to control there?
Yeah, wanting to control a disappointment.
Yeah. Could you let it go?
Yeah.
Okay. See if there's any more of it there.
That's pretty good.
Okay, good. All right. So let's move to the other side then.
Okay.
What is it you get from wanting disapproval?
I get a lot of confidence.
Oh, okay. And is that wanting approval or wanting to control?
Yeah, it's like self-approval.
Okay. And could you allow that wanting approval to release?
It's control, that's what it is. It's
Zip and change. Okay.
Yeah.
And just allow yourself to be aware of any wanting to control there. Good. Just letting it go. When you think about it, giving you confidence.
Yeah.
Is there any more wanting to control that? Or wanting approval there?
No, I feel control, but I don't think it's wanting to feel control. Maybe that's wanting to control, I don't know.
How's it now?
Confidence, wanting to control.
When you think about wanting disapproval and the confidence there, you feel it gives you confidence.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel it does give me confidence.
Okay. The truth is, in fact, it's when you let go of wanting it, and you have the approval for yourself and for others, that's when you do feel confident. You're not wanting to try and get it from someplace or someone else. You have it right inside of you. And so, in fact, when you're released and you're not wanting it, that's really when you have it.
That's great.
Okay. So you're feeling okay?
Yeah, super.
Good. So give yourself some checks there. Right in the Gaines book. So who's next? Okay, Cheryl. What is it you get from wanting approval?
Acceptance. Or that's what I want to get.
Okay. And is that wanting approval or wanting to control?
Approval.
Okay. Could you let go of wanting approval?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you feel any more of it there? That wanting approval?
Some.
See, could you allow it to release?
I'm sure I could.
You're holding on to some there?
Every time I talk to you.
You hold on and you let go, would you?
I think I'm holding on. I don't know why.
Okay. Well, just see. That holding on, is that coming from your wanting approval or wanting to control?
I think wanting to control.
Yeah. Could you allow it? Good, okay. Just laugh.
Yeah, it did.
Well, think about the wanting acceptance then. That's what you think you're going to get from wanting approval.
Yeah.
You see what wants there now concerning that.
That feels better.
Okay. So you let it go.
I did.
Give yourself a couple of checks then. And then on the other side, what is it you get from wanting to be controlled? Sorry, wanting disapproval.
Attention. I think Mary said that already.
Okay, that's okay though.
And it's like a reaction to, sometimes to get a reaction from somebody, which gives you
Okay.
control over them.
Ah.
I'll just lump these all together.
When you think about that, is there any more wanting to control that? Or wanting approval?
Yeah, I just let it go.
Good. So how is it now?
There's still some there. Some control.
Okay. Could you allow it to release?
Yes.
Okay.
I sure can.
Right?
That was good. That feels better too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So who else? Dave, what is it you get from wanting approval?
Frustration.
Okay. And what does that stir up? You're wanting approval or you're wanting to control?
Control.
Okay.
Does. Very much so.
You in touch with it?
You bet.
Okay. You let some go, but just get a sense of it again, Dave. That wanting to
Okay.
control. Could you allow it to release?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you feel more of it there, that wanting to control?
There's a lot of it there.
Okay. Would you like to control how
Bill.
much? Yeah?
Over time.
Mm-hmm. Or would you like to control how much there is there that's built up over time?
Never thought of it like that. Probably.
Uh-huh.
Probably would.
Could you allow that to release? Okay. Is there any more wanting to control that? How much has accumulated?
It's better.
Okay.
It is better.
Good.
Mhm.
Well, look at that thing again and see if
Okay.
there's any more wanting to control or any wanting approval.
More wanting control.
Okay.
Mhm.
Could you
It's
let...
better.
Uh-huh.
It is. It's
Yeah, you
lighter.
let go of a lot.
Yes.
But just that part that's left, just let yourself be aware of the wanting to control. And could you let it go?
Yeah, I could let it go. I have the feeling that I want to hold on to some of it, though.
Oh. Would that be for control or approval?
Control.
Okay.
That's better.
Okay.
Much better. Mhm.
You know, it's the same decision that we use to hold on to a feeling or to let it go. It's actually the same thing. You know, often I could ask you, could you hold on to a feeling? You'd say, yeah, fine. You know, it's the same thing. If I ask you, could you let it go? It's exactly the same decision that you use to let it go.
Okay, thank you. That's
Okay.
good. That's good.
Give yourself a couple of checks there. Okay, so let's do some releasing now with a home viewer. And you can all keep just working and focusing on this, allowing whatever wants are there in the moment just to release. Okay, so just get comfortable and find something on your list that you want to get from wanting approval. And whatever that thing is, just see what the underlying want is that's connected with it. Is it the wanting approval or the wanting to control? Could you allow that want to release? Just look again. Is there any more of that want there? Could you let it go? And when you think what you want to get from wanting approval, just see what want is there now in the moment.